start my speech in 3, 2, 1. Let me respond to the opposition side first. Opposition side always mentions about if the government improvise characters and their welfare will be taken away, they become unemployed and cannot support their families anymore. And think about it. If the wealth confiscated by the state is 100 to plus 50% as opening government mentioned first, the government will be able to use the confiscation of money, assets, and other to ensure the welfare of the people, which is, of course, more priority than thinking about the welfare of the corruptors. The corruptors who commit acts of corruption do not care about the consequences of their action, which is directly or indirectly affect the welfare of the community. For example, if there is corruption in road construction, this will hinder the community from carrying out economic activities so that the welfare of many people is sacrificed because it's corrupt. And if we take the assets that are the result of the corruption and then use them for the benefit of the community, the welfare of many people will increase. I think it's okay if the burden of the state increase one ex-corruptor on the other hand, but in other hand, there is also the development of the welfare of the people. And the second opposition side also mentions about rehabilitation as solution to abolish the root why the corruptors corrupt. I don't think it's worth it. First, it requires additional cost. Logically, why should you facilitate someone who has made the country lose money? Second, even if rehabilitation has to be carried out, the government still has to carry it out impoverishment to recover the state loss. I reiterate once again, so rehabilitation doesn't return state losses. Next, I will share my point of view to this motion. First, let's say if corruptors only serve prison sentences as our country applies today, not infrequently in the process of eradicating corruption, there is also corruption, such as bribery and so on. For example, the case of Gayus Tambunan, who cheated on a prison officer so that he's free to travel. So this proves the term the rich always win. So how do the rich corruptor it doesn't win anymore? The answer is to be impoverished. Impoverishment or taking assets resulting from corruption is more effective and can provide a deterrent effect for corruptors compared to punishment prison. The corruptor will be more afraid of poverty than the fear of being imprisoned. So the only effective way to deter people from committing corruption is by impoverishing the corruptor. The impoverishment carried out against corruptors doesn't violate human rights, and even though they do not have jobs anymore and lose their property because what is confiscated is the result of the corruption, so it doesn't violate the corruptors' human rights. Next, I will strengthening of the confiscation action which cannot be applied to all corruptors. Impoverishment can only apply to criminal acts of corruption that result in their property confiscated, such as gratification, bribes, or money laundering. Because of what? Last, a suspect or defendant of a corruption crime who has not benefited by involved because of administrative problems that are responsibility of his answer. Without that consideration, the law turned into arbitrariness without rationality. With the right mechanism and firmness of law enforcement, impoverishment for corruptors is very appropriate to be applied in Indonesia, and I'm proud to support this motion. Thank you.